Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan. I'm excited today because I'm going to be diving into a blind that's been poured behind me here and shuffled up. I don't know what any of those whiskeys are, but here's the thing. This is our sort of next installment of Beat My Bottle, where I put a bottle down and I say to my viewers, I don't think you have one that's better of its genre than mine is. And we've done a few iterations of these. We've done straight rye whiskeys. We've done finished rye, we've done bourbon. I'm trying to remember what all we've done so far. We've done a few of these. It's been fun every time, and so far, one of them, I think we've done 3, and one time somebody beat me, and they got a prize. It was DMC, one of our viewers. He got like a custom etched glass to celebrate his victory over me. So it had like our Dramguard logo, and has text on it saying they took me down. Pretty fun. So anyways, we're doing it again. This time the classification is American Single Malts, and this is the bottle I threw down, and I need to actually get a refill of it, but boom. This is the Westward American Single Malt. This is the Pinot Noir cask finish, and it's just fantastic. Always been fantastic. It's been that way for years. We got some troubling news today that broke about Westward filing for bankruptcy. Now, this doesn't mean that they're done, right? But it's definitely concerning. So hopefully they can weather the storm and come out the other side, because it would be a huge loss to American whiskey if Westward were to be lost to the elements, as it were. So that's the bottle I put up, for you guys to challenge, and a bunch of people decided to send in their submissions. So I think I've got 7, so I'll do 4 today, and I will pick the 2 that I like the most. Those 2 will move on to take on my bottle in a blind. And then the next video will be 3 that I'll blind, and I'll pick my 1 favorite of those 3. So it'll be a grand total of 3 that move forward, and then the final blind, episode 3, will be the 3 that move forward plus mine in a blind that my wife will pour, and I won't know what's where, and I'll pick my favorite. And if it's mine, I win, but if it's one of your guys's, you win. Sound good? All right, diving right in here with Glass A. I will edit these once I have recorded all 3 videos. At that point, I will know what these have been, so I'll go back in editing and make sure that somewhere on the screen, probably right here, will be the bottle that I'm tasting right now. It's this one. Yeah, does that look good to you? All right, let's do it. Glass A. So, I gotta take some notes. Okay, well, on the nose, there's no mistaking that this is an American Single Malt whiskey. Some classic telltale notes here on the nose. A little bit of Raisin Nut Bran cereal, where you get that bran cereal and maybe a little bit of slivered almonds. But it's also got this dried fruit like dates, figs, raisins, those kinds of notes as well. Some fresh baked bread. Well, let's get in here and try it. Cheers. Certainly isn't bashful. It tastes like it's got a decent proof point to it. It's not like a, mid 80s or 90, I don't think. But it is my first sip of the day, so it could be off there. Everything I was getting on the nose, mostly there on the palate, maybe not so much the slivered almond, but instead, there's something else I'm getting on the palate, sort of late into the palate and into the finish a bit, where it kind of reminds me of like a stout beer. It reminds me of like a milk stout or something. A little bit of cocoa nibs as well. Yeah, it's an American Single Malt, but it's very reminiscent of craft beer to me. Pretty good. Let's move on to Glass B. This one is a whole lot lighter in color. More golden. Oh man, the nose of this is so dramatically different than Glass A. First thing that comes to mind to me is like a Nutter Butter. Love a good Nutter Butter bar. That's what I get. Sweet peanut butter and cracker. Reese's Peanut Butter Puff cereal. This smells like Reese's Peanut Butter Puff cereal, which is not a bad thing at all, because that's an S-tier cereal right there. I mean, that's the kind of thing that can get you in trouble. Never leave a dude alone with a box of Reese's Peanut Butter Puff cereal, because there's probably not going to be much, if anything, left. Well, let's try it. Palate's a lot softer, a little more delicate. I was expecting maybe some like thick sweetness, like a little bit of basiness to it, but it's all very top heavy. It's light, it's approachable, in a good way. I would say it's probably a pretty crushable sip, whatever that is. Yeah, it keeps a little bit of that light peanut butter sweetness, but that's more like into the finish. Up front, I'm getting those malty notes, and the sweetness is definitely there, but it's a brighter sweetness. It's more like just a thin layer of honey spread across like a roll, a dinner roll of some kind. I like it. It's actually a little bit more viscous in the glass than I expected it to be, because it doesn't taste like it's a very high proof. I would say 90 tops. but it's got a decent amount of viscosity, a little bit of a creamy mouthfeel to it as well. Cool, I like that one. Let's move on. All right, Glass C. Right there. A lot darker than the last one. Hello. That's a beautiful nose. It reminds me of like if you were to go to pick out a dozen donuts first thing in the morning on a Saturday for everybody at the house, and you go in there and you're getting a little bit of everything. You get a few glazed donuts just for the basic people who just like a glazed donut. You get some of the, caramel covered ones, a couple of cake donuts, maybe a cruller or two. But there's always like the big cinnamon bun that's like wound in on itself, you know what I'm saying? With a little glaze over top. This is like that. It's like that cinnamon donut. Ooh, it has a really nice sweet cinnamon note to it. The more I smell it, the more I think of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Can you see why kids love the delicious taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I gotta say, that's a beautiful nose. Let's try it. Cheers. That's delightful. It almost gives me some like Amberana notes as well. Because it's so heavy on that cinnamon. It tastes like a really nice American Single Malt that maybe spent a month or so in contact with Amberana. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's definitely what it makes me think of. Because it's a lot of those quintessential American Single Malt notes like you would get out of just standard westward distillate. But then if it were to add in that note of that ribbon of cinnamon that just kind of weaves its way throughout the entire sip. It's delightful. Whatever that is, I like it. Let's move on. And finally, Glass D right here. Nose of this gives me a little bit of like a dried apple peel. You get like dehydrated bright fruits, you know what I mean? And there's this really like soft floral component to it as well. Reminds me of just walking past my lavender bushes on my way into the front door. We got 4 big lavender bushes right out front of our house. All right, let's try it. Cheers. You guys are killing me here. I like all these. This has got a little bit more heat to it though. It maintains that apple, it maintains that lavender, but it's bringing some big heavy cereal notes as well on the palate. Good grief, man. Yeah, it takes you from real sweet up front, that like appley sort of bright fruit sweetness. It transitions into some of these like floral notes, but then the end, the finish, a little bit of this tannic oak almost makes me think of like drinking a like a Merlot or something. The way that sits in your mouth after you've finished with the sip. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is gonna be hard. Okay, I gotta pick my 2 favorites from this blind that are gonna go forward. So I'm gonna revisit these. I have some a basic order written down from my first pass, but a lot of these are pretty close to each other. So I'm gonna resip them and kind of finalize my top 2. Sound good? Let's do it. All right, I've got my 2. I gotta say this was not easy though. Glasses C and D, which I just thought brought some wonderful flavors. The cinnamon bun, and some of those Amberana notes. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch on C it was really yummy. I liked it quite a bit. And then D brought that apple peel and the lavender, which I love those notes. But then the palate kind of brought a completely different experience by bringing some bass and some tannic oak in there as well. I just thought it was a very complex sip, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So glasses C and D are gonna move forward. Cool. I don't know what those are, but those are the 2 that will be progressing to the final round. You know what they are. All right, so we'll see you next time for the next episode where I taste the next 3 and pick 1 to move forward, and then we'll do the finale. All right, thanks so much for tuning into the video today. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the video, would you let me know by leaving a like on it, as that's the best free way to support the content right here on YouTube. And consider joining our Discord, totally free to do. And you can get involved in our community, wonderful people, and we do a lot of fun things together and have great conversations. Basically every day that Discord's popping off, which I love. I've got it constantly pulled up on one of my monitors so I can just see what's going on all day, every day. But yeah, all right, with that I say cheers, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.